Hello everybody, I'm Captain Zeus and welcome back to BP Fun. In today's video, I'll be doing a review over Season 1 of Solo Leveling. And for those of you that haven't seen the show, there's going to be some spoilers in here, so you have been warned. Now, for those of you that didn't know this, Solo Leveling is a bit of a big deal. Not only is this just a very good anime, but this is based off of a manhwa, which is basically like a Korean manga or comic book, however you want to detail it. Now, this manhwa is basically what helped put Korean webtoons, manhwas on the map for the mainstream audience, the mainstream Western audience for that matter as well. From my recollection, it came out around the same time of COVID, and so everybody needed something to read or do in the meantime. This was one of those things. And as you can tell by watching the anime, it's a very good series. Some of the things that I will point out is one, the visuals are fantastic, super colorful, super detailed, very high quality, up until the last episode or two. Same thing with the action scenes, same thing with the voice acting and the soundtrack, all just top tier. Now, there are some things that they added into this show that weren't in the original manhwa. Like the beginning opening scene about Jeju Island, that never happened in the series. That's something that they added in there. It's kind of giving me the vibes of what's happening with Bleach, how Tite Kubo, the creator of Bleach, is working alongside the animation studio to add more stuff that he couldn't add into the manga when he was being rushed to finish it. And he's expanding on what's existing there, making it way better than it already was. It's kind of the same vibe here. The manhwa was already done, and so the creator is just adding some more stuff that is relevant to the series, but is just expounding upon the existing universe. Now, at first, this is extremely good, and it gets you excited and highly anticipating for what's to come next. However, it kind of kills your vibe a little bit down the road, probably about halfway, closer towards the end of the first season, where they start to put it in way too much. I would say about the last 2 or 3 episodes. The finale honestly should have been 1 episode about the fight with Egress and him gaining necromancy, but the reason why it was stretched out is because they were filling in so much extra stuff about the guild master going for doing research for Jeju Island. None of that stuff happened in the manhwa, and normally that would have been fine, but it was just way too much stuff they were adding in that was 1, boring, 2, slow paced, and 3, killed your momentum into an exciting action-packed sequence. Because in the middle of Jinwoo fighting Egress or Jinwoo fighting the mages, you're getting cut to a very slow paced scene of, oh, we're gonna go to Jeju Island, oh, there's a monologue, and it kind of kills your momentum a bit. And if you would have taken out that filler, you probably could have made the finale maybe 35 minutes, and it would have been that whole 2 episodes combined. Now, that does tie into another thing that I'm going to mention that I did not like, which was the pacing. The pacing at first was fine. I didn't mind it being slow because it's building up a lot of tensions, building up the character more, and it's honestly just not everything needs to be fast paced. However, as you get closer and closer to the end, it seems like they're just stretching it out, whether it's just the general time of how the animation's going or just with the story. It's a lot slower paced than how it was in the manhwa. Obviously, reading the manhwa is at your own pace, so you can flip through pages like crazy. However, you're having to watch a 30-minute episode about something that is stretched into another episode several times. That happens several times. Honestly, this first season should have been condensed into half a season, maybe 3/4 of a season, and then we would have gotten a little bit more. I get why they made it a little bit slower paced. This has been renewed for a 2nd season, and from what the rumor is, it's going to be estimated to go up to 6 seasons, which I don't think is what needs to happen. This should be a 2 to 3, maybe 4 season series. Yes, there's a lot of stuff that happens in the manhwa, but if you don't put filler in there, and if you just give us exactly what was there, maybe tweak a few things, honestly, this will be the next best thing since sliced bread. Now, that also goes into what I was mentioning earlier. Something else I didn't like was the animation quality. It seemed like their budget stopped for the last 2 episodes because we're getting a lot of crappy CGI for the architecture and for the armored knights that Jinwoo is facing. It's not even that it's just a bunch of them that there's low quality of. It's like 2 guys or maybe 1, and it's crappy CGI. And I'm like, dude, you were doing so good giving us the highest quality animation up until that point. It's honestly just a little instances here and there. That's a huge pet peeve of mine. I honestly just got super annoyed when I saw that. I'm like, dude, why did you stop too short? Just finish strong. You're taking your time with it, clearly. You're stretching this out enough, clearly, so you should have had the budget to continue on. If you would have took out those filler parts that weren't necessary and slowed the pacing down for a lot of people, you would have had enough budget to finish that up. But I mean, overall, the things I did like, obviously the action was great. The story is just fantastic. This is such a unique story that mixes modern tech, if you will, or modern video game styled stories and the classic isekai medieval type of genre with like goblins and monsters and swords and martial arts fighting styles. It's a nice blend and it is unique, and it helped branch off that kind of genre or subgenre for animes and comics to come. But honestly, overall, I give this first season, I give it an 8.5 out of 10. It's very enjoyable. However, the pacing does kill it for people. It does kill it for a lot of people. I know friends and family that I know that have watched it stopped watching it or got annoyed by the time they finished because it's so slow. And going forward, that's something that do need to change. Season 2 is supposed to come out later on this year. I'm excited. Solo Leveling is such a good series. I have the physical copies of the manhwa here. I think the first 8 volumes that's available. And I read the original one online. It's so good. I would recommend reading the original source material. And I'm excited to see what they change in the anime when it comes out. Now, I do think it's funny, just this last tidbit, where it's a Korean manhwa that's made into a Japanese anime that I was watching with English subtitles. Talk about a language barrier, right? Well, what did you guys think? Have you seen Solo Leveling? Let me know in the comments below. I'm Captain Zeus, and I'll catch you guys later. See ya.